I'll never forget the day I realized peace and freedom weren't guaranteed, even on your own land. After 10 years in the Marines, all I wanted was quiet. I bought 6 acres out in Whispering Pines, just far enough from town to hear the wind instead of traffic. Built a small home, a pond, a porch with a swing, nothing fancy, just mine. I promised myself I'd never take orders again. No commanding officers, no paperwork, no HOA telling me how tall my grass should be. That promise lasted about 6 months. It all started on Memorial Day weekend. The grill was smoking, the flags were up, and my old crew from the Corps, Dag, Chris, and Big L, were sitting around laughing like we hadn't aged a day. My niece was running around the pond with sparklers, and for the first time since Afghanistan, I felt completely free. Then I saw them, 3 figures in matching vests walking up my gravel driveway like they owned the place. The one in front had that unmistakable look. Chin high, clipboard tight to the chest, sunglasses that screamed, "I file complaints for fun." That was Karen Tate, president of the Whispering Pines HOA. Behind her was her husband, Larry, and some skinny guy in a polo holding a folder. Later I learned he was their legal advisor. Karen didn't even say hello. She just barked, "Mr. Drake, you're hosting an unauthorized event visible from HOA property. That's a violation." I just stood there, tongs in one hand, burger smoke in my face, thinking, "Lady, I fought in 2 wars so you could enjoy your cul-de-sac." I told her, politely, this was private land, outside HOA jurisdiction. But Karen wasn't listening. She pointed toward my pond and said, "The board voted to request shared access for community events, picnics, yoga classes, that kind of thing. You can submit to the partnership or face a fine." I laughed, honestly couldn't help it. "Ma'am, that pond was dug with my hands. Nobody's doing downward dog in my backyard." Her face twitched. She turned to her husband, whispered something, then looked back at me and said, "We'll see about that." The next morning, I got a certified letter, HOA violation, disturbance of community peace. It demanded I restore landscape harmony and permit community access to the shared water feature. I almost framed it. But instead, I called my buddy Mark Hill, a lawyer and a fellow vet. Mark came over that evening, read the letter twice, then grinned. "They trespassed, they threatened, and now they're trying to extort you. Classic HOA power trip. Let's hit them back." We drafted a cease and desist letter citing trespassing, harassment, and coercion. Mark even included the local property code proving I wasn't under HOA jurisdiction. We sent it by certified mail. For a week, things were quiet until they weren't. I started noticing weird things. Karen's car parked across the road for hours, a drone hovering over my yard, and a few neighbors suddenly avoiding eye contact. One night, I caught someone taking photos of my house from the sidewalk. When I stepped out, camera guy sprinted off like he'd seen a ghost. Then came the police. A knock on my door, 2 officers standing there. They said someone filed a complaint claiming I was a danger to myself and others due to PTSD. My stomach dropped. That's a serious accusation for a veteran. They had to check. Procedure, they said. Thankfully, one of the officers, Lynn, was a former Army medic. She knew the drill. She talked to me, looked around, and said quietly, "This looks retaliatory. You should report this." She wrote a note in her file that the complaint appeared malicious. That night, I realized this wasn't about a pond or a party. It was about control. Karen couldn't stand that someone on the edge of her perfect little world didn't answer to her. So I went public. Sent all the letters, footage, and police reports to a local reporter, Sarah McNeil, who ran a piece titled, "HOA Tries to Seize Veterans' Land." Within a day, it blew up, shared by veteran groups, talk shows, even a state senator reposted it. My inbox flooded with messages, "Stay strong, brother, we've got your back, fight the good fight." That's when Karen lost it completely. She called an emergency HOA meeting, at least, that's what the flyer said. But it turned into a smear campaign. They called me unstable, said I was armed and hostile. Someone even claimed I'd threatened kids who fished near my property. Lies stacked on lies, all to make me look dangerous. Mark said, "They're pushing for a lawsuit. They want you to crack first." I told him, they picked the wrong Marine. When the lawsuit hit, civil court, trespassing reversed, damages, and emotional distress, I was ready. Mark filed counterclaims with every piece of evidence. Officer Lin testified that the HOA's reports were retaliatory. Even my old commanding officer, Colonel Voss, came to the stand. Voss leaned forward, looked the HOA lawyer dead in the eye, and said, "This man commanded 30 Marines under fire. He doesn't break easy. What you're doing is harassment, plain and simple." The courtroom went quiet. And right there, for the first time in years, I saw Karen's confidence crack. Her hand trembled, eyes darting to her lawyer like a ship captain realizing the hull's already split. But I'll stop there. You'll have to watch the full video to see how it ended. Let's just say things didn't go the way Karen expected. You know, when I bought this land, I thought freedom was about fences and silence. Turns out, it's about standing up, even when it's inconvenient, even when people in power try to crush you because they can. So if you've ever dealt with an HOA gone rogue, or a Karen who thinks her clipboard makes her the law, you might want to grab a drink and watch the full story. And hey, tell me what you think down in the comments. Who was right? Who crossed the line? And how far should community power go before it becomes control? Because sometimes, peace isn't given. Sometimes, you've got to fight for it, again.